Alright guys, welcome back, and we're continuing looking at expanding and simplifying algebraic expressions. So we're going to get right into it by looking at a couple more examples. So the first two questions we're going to look at are going to be these questions here. Now this says 7a minus 2 open bracket 3a minus 5, and we're going to expand that, and then afterwards we're going to attempt to simplify. So again, this 7a here has absolutely nothing to do with this part of the question, the expansion part. So what we're going to simply do is write back the 7a right there. Now if I put my finger over this 2 here is a sign of negative. So we're multiplying everything inside the bracket here by negative 2. And what we have in the bracket is positive 3a and negative 5. So negative 2 times positive 3a, that gives us negative 6a, and negative 2 times negative 5 gives us positive 10. So we've expanded, and now we're going to simplify. So 7 apples minus 6 apples, that gives us 1 apple, which is the same thing as a. A is the same thing as 1a plus 10. And that would be your final answer. Let's take a look at this question. So product of two brackets here. Again, we're going to start with the positive 2c and multiply everybody by that here. So bearing in mind the signs of the numbers inside, or the terms inside. So this is positive 2c, negative d, positive 3c, and negative 6d. So positive 2c times positive 3c gives us 6c squared. Positive 2c times negative 6d gives us negative 12cd. Now all of the terms inside the bracket here have been used by the 2c, so that means we move on to the negative d and do the same thing with all of the terms inside the second bracket there. So negative d times 3c gives us negative 3cd, and negative d times negative 6d gives us positive 6d squared. So all we need to do is look for terms that might be similar and group them and simplify. Now there's no other term looking like 6c squared, so we're going to put this back. And here we have terms that are similar, CD, and like you owe 12 CDs and you owe another 3 CDs. That means in all you owe 15 CDs. And of course there's no other term looking like this, so we're just going to put that back right there. So that would be the answer for question 7. Let's take a look at some more questions. Let's take a look at these two here. So question 8 says, again, product of two brackets. So we need to expand these. And again, take into account the signs of the terms inside the bracket. So this is positive p, positive q, positive r, and negative s. So positive p times positive r, that's pr. Positive p times negative s, that's negative ps. Then we move on to the positive q here and start the process again. So positive q times positive r is positive qr, and positive q times negative s is negative qs. Now, if you look closely, you'd realize that there are no like terms present. This is PR, we have a negative PS, this is positive QR, and this is negative QS. So there are no terms that are similar, which means we cannot simplify this, and it has to stay as is, which means that we're finished with the problem. Let's look at question 9. We have positive 8x, negative 3, positive 2x, and positive 4. So again, we're starting the process with this 8x here. We're multiplying that by 2x. So positive 8x times positive 2x, that's positive 16x squared. Positive 8x times positive 4, that is positive 32x. We move on to this negative 3 now. Negative 3 times positive 2x, that's negative 6x. Negative 3 times positive 4, that gives us negative 12. So we go ahead now. There are no terms with x squared, no other term with x squared in it. So we're putting back 16x squared. 32x minus 6x, that is the same as 26x, and there's no term that is just a number, so we're just going to put that back. All right, so you have to take your time, recognize signs, and proceed to expand first properly, and then look for like terms and simplify. In this particular case here, 32x minus 6x are the like terms, and you'd end up with this. All right, let's take a look at another question. Let's take a look at this question here. Very interesting. So we have fractions, and I know you guys have a tendency to be afraid of fractions, which is I don't understand why really. But a fraction is just another number. All right. But let's take a look at this. We have negative half here. We have SV. We have negative 2t. So let's focus a little bit on this guy first before we proceed to that guy. So negative a half times positive 6v is going to give us negative 3v. And negative a half times negative 2t is going to give us positive t. That's like saying a half of 6v is 3v, but is a negative attached to it, so we put that there. And a half of 2t is t, but is a negative times a negative, giving us a positive. Now we proceed to this part, recognizing that this negative belongs to the 3 here. So negative 3 times positive 2v is negative 6v, and negative 3 times positive t is negative 3t. Let's now look to see if we have any like terms present. So this term is similar to that term, so we're going to group them. And remember, if you move terms, the sign must go with it. We have a positive t here and a negative 3. When you group like terms, the sign that is in front of it must go with it, or else you're going to get the step wrong. So you owe 3 violins and you owe another 6 violins. That means in all you owe 9 violins. And then you have positive t, which is the same as positive 1t minus 3t. So you have 1 tomato on the table, but you owe 3 tomatoes. So when a person comes for the 3 tomatoes, you have to give them the 1 you have, and you still owe them 2. So that will be the final answer for question 10. All right, I hope you guys found this video insightful, and I'll see you guys on the next video.